County Treasurer Eric Sabri. For more information on how to pay delinquent property taxes, visit our website, treasurer.waynecounty.com, or call us at 313-224-59.
We're here at Courageous Detroit Radio. We are the biggest, the baddest, the most courageous radio station that's on. We just happen to be online. We have without a doubt God's favor on our show, on our lives. And I'm here with none other than Toya. She is my co-host. We were just talking about women, not the difference, but just bodily functions, things that's going on in your body.
Bodily functions.
Yeah.
So,
cholesterol, blood pressure,
right.
middle age.
Yes.
The Bible says, beloved, and he's talking to the church. He said, I wish beloved, I wish above all things, thank you, Lord, that thou mayest prosper and be in good health, even as. So he wants you to prosper naturally
and spiritually.
He wants you to be healthy naturally and spiritually.
It should be parallel.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
You shouldn't be weightier in your spirit man walk and less than weight with your natural man. It should equate.
Absolutely. And what does that mean?
Balance.
For all men, but especially African American men. It was a time where they said, get your prostate checked in your 50s. Now, I think you should do it about 35. Yeah. And the reason why I say this is because chicken is not the same chicken from the 60s.
Yes, this food
the chicken that we get now in the 21st century is different. So they're injecting it, and the fact that more has to be given and produced. That's why God cut out sacrifices of animals, because if he hadn't, we wouldn't have no chickens left.
But there's another component to this.
Yes, sir. We have Mr. Keith in the building.
It's what they call genetics.
Yes.
And Ancestry has done a wonderful thing for folks that don't know their history. Is now tracing the history. And we can trace our history through slavery and all that other stuff.
Yes,
so,
sir.
You know, God's given some internal organs and all that other stuff.
Yes.
But that other stuff that we had nothing to do with is now upon us. I tell people this, from age 1 to 60, you're on God's grace. And then after 60, you're on genetic time. You're on the ancestry time. Everything else starting to kick in now.
Yeah. So, in essence, the things that they threw us and gave us became innate, and we passed it on.
From generation to generation.
So that's because that's what we were given. We were given the straps from the pig. The straps from the other animals. So, and with those straps, we made meals.
But we made it work.
Yes.
We made it work through all those trials and tribulations. God still gave us gifts. Gifts of discernment, the gifts of how to get things done. But more importantly, is the gift of just understanding what's in front of you and what we have to deal with while we on that journey.
Absolutely. And that journey, hopefully it leads more men to see their doctors. Every man needs a primary physician.
And not wait until something is wrong or something happens to go, all right, let's pivot. I even think that is the importance of relationship. Because most times, if I just had this conversation with someone recently, so interestingly that we're talking about this, because most men that have a woman in their life, right, she'll notice if something is different, off, because we pay attention. And to tell that man, go, let's go get checked out. Let's go see what's going on. Something is a little off. Even if a man would typically bypass it and keep, going with life, and maybe a single man maybe not check it out as quick. You know what I'm saying? But that woman will kind of be, hey, something isn't right. I notice your pattern is a little different, a little off. Go get it checked. And then I think that helps with early detection of something. You hear a lot of cases of people putting it off, and then they end up leaving here. Because they didn't go to the doctor and they were sick all along. So relationships matter. They're weighty as well, and helping maybe urge someone to go to the doctor. But you should automatically on your own go get checked.
Yeah, but sometimes when you're on your own, you don't have that mindset. That's why the Bible said 2 is better than 1.
Yes.
And the significance or the power of having two is where I'm negligent or derelict or don't see. She can say, hey, yesterday,
that just wasn't right.
You made a noise when you got up off the couch.
Yes.
Like, did I?
Yeah. And that's something you normally didn't do. Like we notice patterns. We know, especially with women, because we pay attention to every little thing. Yes. Those details matter. Yeah. So
Yeah.
See, in my case, sports has always been a part of my life since my father brought us together and did his little deal with my mother.
Yes.
He was a baseball coach, so then when I started playing sports, sports is about, you got to have a health component to sports.
Yes.
And if you don't have a health component, you can't participate. And so I'd have been through all of it. So when I turned around 50, I got prostate cancer. Well,
at 50?
50.
I was 54, 55, I had prostate cancer.
Okay.
And the thing is, I caught it early.
Yeah.
But more importantly, I was in tune to my body because of my sports history. Okay, and so any little thing that can throw me off, I'm going to the doctor. Okay, because I'm used to having certain things interacted in my body. I can tell when something is off. So you have all this is about being in tune to your body. I don't drink, I don't smoke, I don't do none of that stuff. So I'd have been through a lot, from prostate cancer in 2022. I had a pain on my chest, didn't know what it was, but by me being tuned to my body, I felt the pain. But more importantly, I walk out with some women, some young, my track mothers.
Yes.
They told me, they pointed to Providence, and I went to Providence.
They say, go to the doctor.
Doctor, I went. You got to listen now, and you got to react when somebody tell you to do something.
That's right.
I went. And they did a chest x-ray and they found a tumor on my chest.
Wow.
And the good thing is, it wasn't cancer, it's benign.
It was benign. Good thing you still went.
But the deal is, you still have to do a bone marrow. I went through all of that.
Wow.
I only had one tumor. If I had two tumors, called multiple myeloma. Okay, black people are getting multiple myeloma. Okay. So you got to do your daily checks.
Yes.
Your labs is most important.
Yes.
Your lab tells you what's going on inside your bloodline, your bloodstream.
Yeah.
But I go every 6 months.
Yeah.
Okay. I've been to PET scans and all that other stuff. So, and with this latest thing with this blood pressure, I think it's more anxiety driven. And when the anxiety lifts, this does something to your body. It crashes your body. So all I'm saying to you as the people is that first, you got to eat right, rest, get your rest, and more importantly, say hallelujah to the man who brought us here.
Listen, every day. Thank you, Lord, and pay attention, because he does give signs. You have to pay attention. I think the thing that we're saying systematically here all together is pay attention to your body. Go get checked out. My job, they make us do an annual every year automatically, where you have to get very thoroughly checked.
It's a stressful job.
It's not, but it's just a part of their health, initiative to make sure you're good, well-being. And, if you're going to promote that, why not make it, mandatory? Everybody go get checked every year. So that's been a good thing, I think, for a lot of people, because people find out, things that are going on with their bodies that they didn't know.
A king can get knocked down.
Yes, a king. Yes.
Amen. So, again, we are excited about today being another day we've never seen before.
Never.
And we thank God for how he has organized today. We had scheduled the Lee brothers, Elderly and Steve Lee, both are my elders, I believe. Their father had a situation, so they couldn't be here today. But the Bible said all things work together for the good. We had the Mr. Keith Williams here. I commented, you're cool when you can wear a tracksuit, no socks, and some Ferragamos. And I looked at him. He was ready. But I said that because we were scheduled. We were trying to schedule his wife to be on before him.
She's coming.
And she's coming. And we have him today per orders of the Lord, because he works things out. So if someone experiences any type of health concern, especially men, if you're sitting down and you feel sharp pains in areas, go get it checked out. I experienced that when I was in my 30s.
Wow.
And when I would sit, I would feel a sharp pain. And I went to the doctor and my prostate was swollen.
Wow.
They gave me antibiotics. They went down, and I have never had a swollen. And so I just said that to say,
pain.
When you feel something that's not right, go to the doctor. Do not go get no. Peroxide does not cure everything. Epsom salt is good for some things, but you got to be in tune with the doctor.
Body.
You know, so
and that's encouraging me to make sure that I have extra discussions with my sons.
Yeah, because I think now it's 30. The guy who played King of, I didn't see the movie.
Oh,
Black Panther.
Black Panther.
He was in his 40s.
Yeah.
But he had colon cancer.
Yeah. Okay, colon.
I had a friend, David, a well-known guy in advertising, publisher.
In his 40s.
But he had prostate cancer when he was in his 30s.
Yeah, it's going. It varies.
That's why it gets back to knowing your history.
Yep. Yes, sir. Absolutely.
Wow.
Yep. Knowing your history is very important.
Boswick.
Yeah. Mr. Boswick. Yeah. And so, great actor in his own right. But we just thank God for being able to talk about these things, because it's important that we take note.
Yes.
Not everybody wants to live a long life.
Yes.
But in that, you got to take care of the life.
You want a good life. You want a healthy life.
You want to take care of yourself.
Good longevity.
I have a saying,
yes.
Short-term aggravation, long-term prosperity.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I was taking Bishop to dialysis one Saturday, one Tuesday. He said, Dre, getting old is good, but it's such an inconvenience.
Wow.
And as I sat there and I looked at the people coming in, I saw swollen ankles. I saw just sickness. And I said, Lord, you promised us 70. I say, keep me healthy.
Yes.
Keep my mind. And just take me when you're ready to take me, because getting old, if you don't have, that's why I tell people, love on your people.
Yes.
Because you may need that son. You may need that daughter. You may need that friend. You may need that church member to take care of you. Yeah. You'll be surprised how many church members are taking care of their pastors because of whatever the situation may be.
Yeah.
So, you need somebody. You may need somebody to walk you to the bathroom.
Yeah. You don't know how.
You may need somebody to cook you a meal.
Yeah.
It's people who are home and they don't have the strength or a person to go get them a cup of water or a glass of water.
So that's why the village is so important.
Yes.
The village.
The village, knowing your neighbors, knowing everybody in your infrastructure.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Those are the people who can help you in time of need.
Right.
It's when I grew up, we knew everybody in the neighborhood, and everybody knew everybody's situation. Right. People wouldn't hide and stuff. And the more you know, the more you can fix, and more you can react to.
Right, and that's what's very important, because you do need community. That takes you back to community. And why you have to treat people right, because you don't know who in that community you may need. It may be the one you least expect. Yeah. And you will hope that they will have enough grace and love in their hand to handle you right. So
because it don't cost you nothing. It don't cost you nothing to be kind.
It doesn't.
That song don't cost you nothing.
Yeah. Mr. Keith, you have a book. Let's talk about the book.
Yes.
Let's talk about where God has maneuvered it and where he has landed it. And not only where he landed it, we're looking for some more doors to open for the book. But talk about your book and talk about that blessing or that testimony of how he has it in the schools.
But as a kid, I was told that nobody was better than me. That was my father instituted in me. But other folks thought otherwise. Okay. This guy ain't gonna make it and all that other stuff. But God determined my direction. They couldn't determine my direction.
That's right.
They can get in the way with bullying and all that other stuff. But I've just been really blessed that when as a kid, not knowing I was blessed, I went to Fitzgerald from the 1st to the 3rd grade. Then they started cross-district busing. And when Detroit was really, was around 80% white or 70% white at the time, and black folks can only live in certain on the east side, and then we migrated to the west side.
Wow.
And I say this, and then it would really, and I think about it to this day. I wish my father and mother was here to tell. I want to ask them one question. Why did you move us down the street from University of Detroit, a major university? Mm-hmm. What was on your mind? Because that catapulted my life. That gave me the backdrop I needed to move to the next level in life.
Wow.
Because I saw university every day.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. Every day I played on the U of D. Every day I walked to AMP. I saw University of Detroit. And so when I got to college, I was always going to college. I had been to college because I lived in that environment.
Right.
But the cross-district busing, we went from all-black school to all-white school. It changed my life forever. Mm-hmm. And I'll never forget, I went there from the 3rd to 6th grade. In my class, every black kid, a white kid had to take us home for lunch.
Really?
Yes. That was part of our maturation. That was part of us getting to the next level.
Wow.
And a kid named Joel Rosenberg invited me to his house, a Jewish kid. Mm-hmm. And to this day, I'm trying to find Joel Rosenberg.
I was going to ask, do you still keep in contact?
I'm trying to find him.
Wow.
Because he was so gracious to me when I came to his house.
Wow.
So I saw that portion.
Okay.
And then from the 6th to the 8th grade, I saw another portion of from a different perspective. I saw black kids' parents that had white pianos in their living rooms.
Wow.
I saw kids' that came from fathers who were doctors and teachers, and they had fit the American dream, college degrees and all that other stuff. So I dealt with that. My mother was a day worker and my father worked in a plant. So I had to go through all that gyrations, okay? And then I found my footing when I got to high school. Now you're going through another, after you've gone through the life of the social reinvention of black people, then I go to Henry Ford, and the first year is a race riot.
Oh my goodness.
Okay.
After all of that.
After all of that, a race riot. And then started on JV football, and that really changed it.
Yeah.
I got involved in sports, and I got good at it. And so all I'm saying is those things, there was a lot of obstacles in that journey. Only child out of 9 to finish high school and finish college.
Wow.
Kid, I tell a story about to my nieces and nephews. 5 of us slept in one bed. One rotate out, and other one rotate up. That was graduation.
Wow.
You know, graduation when you walk across the step, across the stage, the auditorium and all that. My graduation getting another pillow, okay? And then eventually I got the whole bed to myself.
Wow.
Okay, after 4 graduations. Okay?
Oh my goodness.
Okay, then I inherited my little brother, Terrence. And then little Terrence, he used to, his movements always catch me late at night, okay? The bathroom movements, okay. But then he got his bed. So I just say, you know, my life has been blessed, but I also understood that you know, it's a struggle, but you can, but in this journey you can catch your footing if you just stay focused. And my focus was I didn't get back to what my father said, nobody's better than me, but I didn't want to go back to poverty.
Yeah.
I didn't want to, because where I live, things were changing. Heroin was coming in. The plants were re-engineering and all that other stuff. So before you can go right from high school to a plant job, or you can go to the police force was changing. A lot of black men did that. But my journey was, I didn't know I had a question mark. Because my neighborhood, them young brothers, the heroin, everybody wanted to be, they were starting to be gangster, they started getting addicted to the stuff.
Wow.
And so I chose a different route.
Right.
And that route was that journey on that bus. And this is so funny. On that bus, I started at Midland to 7 Mile, Midland, where the bus picked us up at Livernois, to 7 Mile, to Burke Road, Edinburgh, and Evergreen.
Wow, that was a nice little ride.
Yes. not knowing that I'll be meeting my wife one day.
Oh, it's getting good.
On that bus trip.
On the bus trip.
On that bus trip. She lived at Hartwell and 7 Mile.
Wow.
So
she lived on Hartwell?
Hartwell and 7 Mile.
Yeah.
So
she met from Hartwell.
And somehow, eventually, that's how it came to fruition.
Wow.
But I not knowing that I was going to meet my wife on that bus journey.
So all things work together.
For the girl.
How long y'all been together?
So in high school, I knocked on the door. She wouldn't say nothing to me.
Okay.
It was 20 years later.
20 years.
20 later? Wow.
20 years later, at the 20-year class reunion.
Wow.
We started dancing.
That is something.
And then next thing you know, we've been together 38 years, I think.
Wow. So it could have been 58. See, it could have
been
been 58.
I was trying now.
You was trying.
I was trying.
How nice. That is awesome, though. So it took you, she didn't give you the time of day, but then 20 years later, you got her.
Yeah.
Did you have on uniform?
I was polished.
You
know, one thing about my journey.
He said I was polished.
But my journey, even though the community was changing, there was some brothers called the Hart brothers. They had good hair. They was handsome brothers.
Hart brothers. They were actually really related brothers?
Yeah, brothers. They lived on Quincy. Good-looking guys, man. Had that good hair. You know,
light skin?
No, brown skin.
That's even better.
But the bottom line is, they all got involved in that drug stuff.
Oh.
But them brothers on Quincy, they were driving 98s. They always dressed nice.
Yeah.
Had the gab. The gab. They cut it into a jacket. Okay. Silk and shark skin, silk and the gators. They was that imagery. I said myself, I want to dress like that too, and I never changed because I'm gonna always dress. Everything got to match. To this day, I get up in the morning, I know what I'm going to wear. Okay? I already put the shirt, the shoes, how I want to dress.
In your mind sometime, I'll be like, okay, I'll get that. That's in the closet.
Yeah. But that's the image. I'm getting ready for...
When you take off your shoes, you put them in a box?
Yes, I got a box in the closet.
Or sometimes you put the... I got you.
You out of my car, I got... Ferragamo boxes. I got shoes. Yeah. I got shoes, white shirts. Make sure my shirts are starched.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. And I stopped wearing ties after COVID.
Okay.
But when I have to go to a business meeting, I will wear a tie. But all I'm saying is, my journey was retrofitted.
Wow.
It was retrofitted, and so in the book of obstacles, about living in bed, living with 8 kids. Learning the values of love and all of that, but the obstacles was just a young man going through stuff, racism, drugs, and crime, and all that other stuff. But I stayed steadfast on what my father. I saw a good man. Yeah. But he went through a bout of alcoholism, and the first thing of my obstacles was. My brother Dennis died in my mother's arm when all our brothers and sisters was in the house of measles and pneumonia. He was 2 years old.
He passed away?
In my mother's arms. We watched him in the house. Wow. That's the first big obstacle. And when my father, I think it got to him and hurt him, to see Dennis. And Dennis was... it was me, then Dennis, then Yvette and Terrence came. So
after. You're in the middle?
I was the baby before Dennis came. Okay, but I'm the only child that, really reached the pinnacle of what they say, so-called life. Okay. Career and all that other stuff. But my journey has been good. Cancer, I didn't overcame cancer. Yeah. Tumors and all that other stuff. Now I'm going to deal with them. I'm trying to deal with this anxiety and all that other stuff. Yeah. But I'm going to tell you something. I wouldn't trade my life for no other way. Good. Because the struggles made me the man I am today. Yes. And I'm just a brother that loved black people. Yeah. Okay? Because I saw my father, my mother. Yes. And, I can go on and on about I'll never forget this. My father was on dialysis. and there was a playground called Midland Park, of Midland between Quincy and Homer. My father made a baseball diamond out of it. He didn't have a lawnmower. He had the kids walk the grass down.
Wow.
They didn't know they was cutting the grass with their shoes, but he was innovative.
Wow.
But he was on dialysis, and I'll never forget what he said. I said, "Daddy, why are you doing this?" He said, if me and Dow don't do it, who else gonna do it? Dow was my mother. Her name was Legal, but he called that was his Dow. While my father sometimes was at the playground, my mama was at the church, and she had an organ. She created a thing called Feed My Sheep.
Wow.
My mother was feeding from a spiritual standpoint, and my father was feeding from a physical standpoint, but all spiritual intertwined in both.
Yeah.
It was all connected.
Yeah, it's the church I was affiliated with. They have a program called Feed My Sheep on the East Side, right across from the 7th Precinct.
Wow.
But it's powerful. I love it when you said you saw something in your father. A lot of times we know our mothers and our fathers see things in us.
Yes.
But I think it's imperative that the kids see things in their parents. My father was, I never saw my father without a drink in his hand because he owned a bar in Memphis, Tennessee. And then he raised greyhounds. So he sold greyhounds because in Memphis they have this thing where they raise greyhounds. And so he was able to breed them. Wow. So he made a lot of money. He also rode motorcycles with Elvis Presley. So my daddy was a jack of all trades. He was very charismatic. I never saw him in blue jeans. I just got a picture, actually. He had some high blue jeans with a dress shirt. He always wore, I never saw him with one. He always said, never wear one shirt. Always wear you a good tank top or t-shirt. So to today, you will never catch me with one shirt on. Never.
Because it's instilled.
It's just
instilled. Have that in you.
And so that drink, and sometimes you see him with a pipe. I wanted to drink when I watched him, and I wanted to smoke a pipe. But when it took him out, I said I'll never drink or smoke. So I missed that. I never drank or smoke. I think I tried my first drink at 38. I had turned 38. I was going as a friend.
Wasn't it?
No, it wasn't horrible. It was actually good. It's just I got it just one.
It didn't do it.
I was just drunk, and I was and they was laughing at me because it didn't take much.
Because you were, because your system was virgin, so it was like,
So I was agitated at the strippers. I was agitated. They was like, we got to get Dre out of here. But I said that to say, you saw something good in your dad. And I was able to maneuver from the glass in his hand, the pipe that he smoked, and I saw something good in him. I saw a great dresser who loved his sons. How much did he love his sons? I was 32 when I first got married. And when I sent to Memphis, Tennessee for my birth certificate, they could not find Andre Windless. Windless. They said, sir, we don't even know if Andre Windless exists in our files. So I was like, wow. She said, oh, by the way, are you a twin? I said, yes, ma'am. She said, oh, I see what happened. In 1977, Robert Lee Faulkner came down here and changed his son's name to Stevie Lee Faulkner, Anthony Faulkner, and Andre Faulkner.
Really?
You're not a Windless, you're a Faulkner.
Wow. And your dad did that.
My dad did that. So I wear Faulkner as a badge of honor because it was my dad's name.
But that was corrective measures.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
It corrected wrong. Yeah. And seeing my father, my father was a great man. Isaiah McKinnon, former police chief, lived down the street from us, and there was, there's people in this journey that impact your life. I'll never forget that at 12, Isaiah took me down to 1300 Bovey, and I was going to karate practice, taking karate lessons with him, not knowing he was a police officer. And then I was at a reception with him.
That's what they call Ike McKinnon?
Ike McKinnon.
Oh, yeah, wow.
He lived down the street from us. He started a security company, and he said, see that young man over there? I raised him. And look at it. He says, instead of me locking them up, he's locking people up. Okay? But the fact of the matter is, in this journey, there's many fathers.
Yes.
There's many mothers.
Yes.
Absolutely.
And I got a lot of mothers. Leland Williams is the first mother. I had Auntie Bobby and Estelle, my father's sister. Then my loving aunt, the only one that's about 3 left, Elizabeth down in Georgia, but Miss Perry, Miss Scott that lived down the street from me. Then with my extended mothers. Then I had extended fathers. I don't know, some brothers just got a knack for somebody who want to do something for them.
Absolutely.
Okay?
Yeah.
And, but in this experience is the humbleness that I've learned through this journey.
Yeah.
You can't do it by yourself. And you need a supporting cast.
Yes.
You do.
Yes.
And
Yes.
and so as you think of, so as you believe.
Yeah.
And I'm going to believe that I can do all things.
Yes.
Okay, and that's my journey. And that just playing sports and running track and all the obstacles you got to get up in the morning, training and all that other stuff has made me a disciplined man. Mm-hmm. Okay, now I get crazy at times. That's a part of the journey. Okay,
yes, sir.
Yeah.
But to put that in paper in that book, and then get validated 2 months ago by DPS that my book was accepted for the kids to read.
That is,
yes.
We have to give. That's huge.
Yeah,
that's great.
And so,
accomplishment.
And the accomplishment. Look at you guys.
Yeah.
I saw you when you first came in with my man from the Four Tops.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So then you got on the phone call. I want one like that. Okay, well, God spoke to you.
Yes,
sir.
And then He brought you over here.
Yes, sir.
Okay, and so there's more to come.
Yeah.
It's gonna get bigger and better.
Yeah.
Because me and Wendy was talking earlier, and I got on the phone today talking to a friend of mine, and he called me the Black Moses. I said no.
Black Moses.
Yeah. I said no. I'm not accepting that because I'm not Moses.
Right.
And then I started thinking, and I said, I got another book coming out called Committed, and something says, a man that moves mountains. And then the subtitle, he doesn't need permission. Okay, I truly believe this, man. If you trying to ask somebody for permission, you'll never get nothing done.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's powerful, Mr. Keith. You said so much, but I really, my mind just went to the hands that now hold obstacles conquered. The wisest, these kids now, they're wiser. The wisdom that they have. You got babies who can maneuver a cell phone.
They have access, unlimited.
Yes.
And now they have obstacles conquered because mom and dad came together one day and produced you.
Yeah. Yeah.
And you talked about how so many people became your mother and father. Same with me.
Yeah.
I have a few godmothers. I just got one. When my mother died, I closed the casket on my mom, and she said, Andre, you did it with so much power. Wow. I don't know how you done it. My oldest brother couldn't do it. My twin didn't want to do it. But when I done it, I inherited 2 godmothers that day. Mm-hmm. And I said that to say, my dad had some favor on his life. Mm-hmm. Your dad had favor on his life. Yeah. Your mother had favor. Yeah. And it's transferable.
Right, because whatever prayers, because when you were talking about your mom, what came into my mind was the prayers of the parents. Mm-hmm. It follows you. So it may not catch you for them to visibly see it while they're in the land of the living, but that prayer is going to still manifest somewhere in your life. Mm-hmm. And all of that was a part of your tutelage and whoever came in your life and helped get you to each phase. And for all of us, even what you said about how we came together here. So everything, absolutely all things work together for the good. And whoever is going to be used in the process, going to be used, but is already destined where we going, what we going to do, and the success that we're supposed to have.
Absolutely.
Bobby Kennedy had this quote, and he said, I see things as they are. Mm-hmm. People see things as they are and ask why. Mm. I dream of things that never were and ask why not.
Robert Kennedy.
Kennedy.
He said, I ask why not. And we got to stop saying no. You got to start saying, why not?
Yeah. And figure out how to make it happen.
Well, Mr. Keith, why not you? So, in essence, they called you that. This is what I'm learning.
They called me Fly in high school.
They call you Fly, and yet you are. But also, a gentleman called you Black Moses. Mm-hmm. A lot of times, God will give people, see, that's his perspective of you.
A reference of,
I can't denounce if somebody say, hey, man, you're a good man.
Yeah.
And I know in my heart, I still may be dealing with some things.
But they,
It's what, see, God called Peter great when he just was a fisherman. God called David great.
Yeah.
Even though David he had bloody hands. He was incredibly whorish. But God saw his heart.
And look at Tycheus. He saw Tycheus afar off while he was up in that sycamore tree. So God already sees who you are. He already know where you are. He gonna call you even when you physically don't see the manifestation of who or what that is. He's calling it into play. So,
but you know, there's always a Damascus moment.
Yeah. Gotta have them.
Everybody
gotta have them. Gotta have them. Paul went through that Damascus moment. When he got blinded for 30 days. See, I'm not scripturally driven or scripturally powerful like you are, my pastor. Okay, but I do know a Damascus moment.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Where he'd knock you down and say, I want you to follow this lead.
Yeah.
And that's what Paul did. Paul had to get knocked down. He was treacherous. He was you might as well say he was a criminal. He was all of that.
And put an Ananias in his life.
Yes.
See, God would always, when he knock you down, you just said we need help.
Yes.
He put an Ananias in your life. You know, and a lot of Ananias is in our lives that help us navigate. Ike McKinnon. That was a great Ananias. You understand what I'm saying?
Ike McKinnon, to this day, he sees me and he's so proud of me, you know. I'm gonna get with him. I'm gonna throw y'all off a little bit.
Yes, sir.
And in college, at Eastern Michigan, I met a white guy, a white gentleman, and to this day, we are the best of friends.
What's his name?
His name is Joe Braden. He was my marketing teacher at Eastern Michigan. He was a conservative Republican.
Wow.
And me and him and another young man named Don Reines taught me about sailing. Okay, I was always wound up in right places. Okay? And Joe Biden, he just believed in me, but there was a moment, a civil rights moment. In class, there was a kid, the guy Coles, he's dead now. Father owned Northfield Downs. Now they turned them in condos. He's a rich kid. He called me nigga in class. And Joe Braden said this, I will not have that in my class.
Wow.
He stood up.
He stood up for me. So 2 years ago, we had a dinner for him on a Friday at Andiamo's. And I got up and said this. He's got pancreatic cancer right now. And he said that I said this to him. I love you for what you did, and I'll never forget what you did. You stood up when another man would have walked away.
Yeah.
You stood up for me, and I'll never forget that. You know, and I said, you know, and I just looked at him. I almost had tears in my eyes because look where I'm at today. And it's like this. It's not how many steps you take. It's the quality of the footprints you leave behind.
The quality.
The quality of the footprints you leave behind.
Yeah.
And Joe Braden was that kind of guy. Me and him, I'm going to call him today. He got me my first professional job.
Wow. So he did a great impact in your life.
So there's many fathers.
Yeah. And that leaves people to then be open to, it doesn't have to just be, you know, a lot of times people are always open to only one person or because someone special. No, many. So you can close off your blessing by closing yourself off to other people. So we need each other. You need community. Absolutely. Yeah.
I was trying to think of that African American who spoke at I don't know if it was Aretha. He was a congressman, very, just a great dresser. But he stayed with the Granholm family.
I don't even know.
While he was in school or something, and he was probably one of the oldest black. I was just trying to think of his name when you said that because God will always connect you with who you need to be connected with. I met a gentleman. Since it's Father's Day, we're leading up to Father's Day weekend.
Almost.
Mr. Keith, you've been impactful for the few months I've known you. You are very, very transparent, and a lot of men with power and resources, they're not.
Yeah.
They're not transparent. They hold those nuggets. They hold their insight, their wisdom to themselves, but for you to just know us.
Yeah.
And I know you have been impactful to Toya.
Yes.
This is part of our journey.
Yes.
We had to meet Keith Washington.
Right. So cancer couldn't take you out.
Yeah, because it's some obstacles conquered I haven't conquered yet.
Yeah.
And I can say, and Toya can say, hey, you know, and I want to personally thank you.
Yes. Yes.
You could have said,
yes,
because people's time is priceless.
Yes. Yes.
We got this interview all because you were here.
Yes.
And the power of being present for those you allowed into one of your homes.
Right, right.
You know what I mean? You allowed us in.
Right.
And so...
Right.
No, God allowed you.
Yeah.
God allowed you.
Yeah.
This is what I call this is supper.
Okay.
We all around the table.
We're at this table. We're eating well.
We're at the table.
Yes.
And this is God's grace.
Yes.
I didn't know Wendy from Tom, Dick, and Harry.
Wow.
I didn't. I met a gentleman that she knew her godson. Am I right, Wendy? Mm-hmm. And me and him connected, and the next you know I connected with
my stepson.
The stepson, and I forgot how I met him.
Wow.
Through Robert Olive.
Robert Olive, and then we were trying to I was trying to get this thing going. Then out of that, I met Juan, and then all of a sudden, what I'm saying to you folks is this. When y'all on my website, that's a blessing.
Yes. Yes.
Because I'm appreciative. Yes. Because guess what? We're going to grow.
Yes.
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 Okay. I got a plan.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
And then we all grow together.
Yes,
sir.
You see in our office downtown, I'm gonna fix that up.
Yes.
We got places to meet.
Yes.
We not begging nobody.
Yeah.
We're gonna do God's work.
Yes.
And God's work brings a lot of people towards you.
Absolutely.
Now we're gonna get some obstacles, but I ain't worried about that.
Yeah. The grace of God.
I just thank y'all for allowing me to be on your show. But more importantly, I just thank you for participating with me.
Yeah.
It's an
Let me
honor
ask you something.
for us.
The color scheme. How did you come up with that?
Black and red?
Yeah.
Now,
what color red is that? What is that? It's like an ash red?
Because it's like an orangey, some orange in there.
Yeah.
So how did you come up with all that?
I like it. My high school colors is brown and gold.
Okay.
Go to Mighty Trojans. But it's something about black and red.
It is.
It's something about black and red. You know, black and red is to me is courage.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's strong. It's
strong.
very strong.
It's strong. Okay.
Yeah. And
courageous, you gotta have courage. What in Joshua, so you gotta be strong and courageous.
Courageous. When nobody else thinks you can do it, Caleb and Josh said, we're well able.
Yeah.
Everybody else's testimony was, we're like grasshoppers. They said, no, we can do it.
We can do this. Come on.
Glory. Yeah. And then another thing, we are our brother's keeper.
Yes.
That's right.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
We are.
Yes.
When you're not knowingly, we are our brother's keeper.
Yes.
And I just truly believe that I'm looking at my mother right now, smiling, and I'll never forget this. When I got elected to office in the special election, my mother had this pink hat on.
Oh, my goodness.
Church look, and she was so proud. And I looked to the sky. I love you, Daddy.
Yeah.
Okay.
Wow.
And my mother, she was so proud.
Wow.
You know, to make your mother proud.
Yes.
Yeah.
You know, and then I have a younger sister, Yvette. She's the only last one with left. And she was kind of, and I love her to this day, despite. And I asked her, and I better not do that. I'm not going to do that.
Okay, no, leave it.
but you never wanted, your kids has got to be have an awe effect of you.
Yeah.
Because if they got awe effect
that's
of
respect.
you, that's respect.
Yeah. And then it's something for them to strive for.
Yeah.
And say, Daddy did it.
Yeah.
Daddy accomplished it.
Yeah.
You know.
So tell me this thing. What does the God mean? Let your life so shine.
I'm gonna let Toya, and then I'll pick it up.
Why you gonna put me on the spot? Let your light so shine. So your light has to shine. What that reflects to me is something has to sparkle about you. You can't dim who you are. You can't dim what he's giving you. You can't dim the gifts and the callings that he's placed in you, it has to come out. And what happens is once it shines, when it's dark out, it's going to get attention, it's going to pull, it's going to draw and say, hey, this is the way to go. The light has to shine. It has to shine to show there is a better way and there is a way to go. I feel like, can't even think of the scripture now, but like, why would you hide? You can't hide the candlestick, right?
Don't put it on a bushel.
It has to stay it has to stay out, shining bright, so people can see. Because if that light shining, people can see where to go. People can know where there's help, where there's prosperity. I feel like that light has to pull. It has to draw. But if you dim it, who gonna know?
Yeah. So that's what it means.
And then another, when God say, let there be light.
Yeah.
Once light came, then he went to work. God said, let there be light.
Yeah.
Because he wanted the canvas to be so vivid that he can do his work.
Yeah.
I do my best work.
And it's visible.
In the daytime.
Yeah.
When it's night, no man can work. So when God says, let your light shine, he wants us to let him shine out of us to the world.
Because it pours.
He
said, if I be lifted up,
I'll draw.
I will draw. You just let me shine forth in you, and I'm going to draw.
And then he said, let your light shine.
Yes.
Mr. Keith, he didn't say make it. He didn't even say try to make it. He said let it.
Yeah.
When you let something happen, that means you take your hands off of it.
Because gifts and callings are without repentance. So it's what he has put in you that's going to do the shining, and that's to him. That's his work.
Yeah.
All you got to do is let it be.
Yeah. He wants to be seen in us. He is the God in us working through us. And we got to let that light shine. So definitely, when we do it, we meet men like you. We meet women like Miss Dorsey.
Because it draws.
Yeah,
the light draws.
So it gets back to this parable, and I'm gonna break it up. It's gonna all be crazy. And all it's the parable of the frog. The frog was used to this whale. Every now and then he'd come out and see what was out there. Okay. Then what he did, he resort back to
Go back in.
Go back to the well. Until the seagull one day said, "Man, let's try something else." The seagull was seeing everything. A bass water. In that area, he's looking at whales, he's looking at sharks, he's seeing the possibilities. I tell people, you want to be the silly seagull, not the frog.
Right.
Because the frog, he's
limited too.
He's limited in his thinking, but he's limited in his surroundings. The seagull got possibilities.
Yeah.
So I look at me is that the world to me is possibilities.
Yeah.
It's a lot out there, but then it could be some good in that frog too. The frog gonna stay in his lane.
Right.
Okay. Right. Some folk don't know how to stay in their lane.
And he know his habitation very well.
Right.
What works right there.
What works. Right. Yeah. But you still got to see your possibility.
Yes.
You got to.
Because then you would never try. If you don't know something is possible or there's possibilities out there, then you'll stay hidden in your little confined spot.
Right.
Yeah. And then never try, never dare, never live.
Right.
Yeah. This is speaking to me. This is encouraging.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. One night I woke up and channel surfing. I went to ESPN. That's my go-to in the middle of the night because I want to see what happened.
Yeah.
And so nothing was on. It was a documentary on surfing. And so boom, I'm watching these white guys in the water. They on their belly on the board. And when they saw the wave, they saw a lot of waves. But when they saw the one that they know could carry them, they jumped on it. And the Lord spoke to me so vividly, so clear. He said, ride your wave. Because the waves of life will come.
They come and they go.
But you got to be able to get on that
and get on it. Because they go up and they can go so high and they can go down.
And surfing had something in it just for me. And so I often tell people, when you wake up in the middle of the night, it's not just to relieve yourself or to scratch your head. It's really for you to say, Lord, what are you saying? What do I need to, or where do I need to be? Or what do I need to do?
Yeah.
Because he speaks, David said early will I seek thee. So it's a power in getting up early and saying, I'm just gonna lay here, Lord, until you say something. When I first got saved, they had this thing called late night prayer, and it was every Friday night. And I had just got saved. I would pray for about 10 minutes, probably not that, probably 6 or 8. And I would get up and they would be down there for hours. So one day, I in my frustration, I asked Mother Miller, I was like, can I just leave? After I finished, she said, well, most of the time, I'm just down there listening. I thought they was down there praying for that long. And so she
just
taught me something.
being in his presence.
Sometimes it just, it's when you find it a joy to be in his presence, that makes that, and that not only helps you spiritually, it helps you naturally. When you have a joy to be in your mate's presence, y'all don't even have to talk. I'm just here eating watermelon.
Just being around.
You know, watching the Tigers game. You know, so just a joy to be in his presence. Yeah.
Well, it's a joy today. Me sitting next to two wonderful persons. Yeah. And you never know when God brings folks together.
Yes.
And you know, there's a vast ocean out there. But where we at, I created is called the Courageous Ecosystem. Courageous, the nonprofit. You got Courageous Detroit Network. And you got Soul Village. So all three of those are integrated into one.
The network.
The network.
Courageous Network.
Okay.
Yeah.
We are the Black CNN.
Oh, yeah.
The Detroit
CDN, Courageous Detroit Network.
Yeah, amen.
And we're going to brand that.
That's right.
Okay.
That's right.
We're going to brand that, and part of the part of the journey, you know, this is good. You know how God integrate things. And,
You
know, you got the spiritual side.
Move it and mesh this. And
he's bringing all these different entities together.
Right.
You know, and that's God's grace, man. And so I'm telling you, I'm being honest, I was a little nervous today.
Yeah.
Really?
I was.
Why?
Because the last time I did something with Lady Love, and I got, you know, and I got scared because I had a tachycardia about 4 weeks ago. And I was on the cell phone and my heart started, it could have killed me. And so I felt that. Today I was a little nervous. You know, I was getting a little anxious.
It makes anxiety. That's what that,
Yes, because, you know, with the talking and the relaxation. You know.
And we lifted up the Lord. That's the main thing. We lifted up God.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, you know, but you never know about this journey of life. But but this is great. Whatever I can do to help to make this space a wonderful space. We're gonna get better. We're gonna get new doors. We're gonna go through a transformation. That outside, I'm gonna make that out of a lounge. That warehouse. When you come back in about 30, 40 days, it's gonna be changed.
All right. Absolutely. We look forward to it.
A young guy came in here Friday. My cousin sent him here. And my man was cutting the grass because I gotta have everything cut. I don't like grass high. But this young man can do sets.
Wow.
He's young, gifted, and black. He told me this, he said, somebody thought I couldn't do nothing.
Wow.
But he goes in and transforms stages and all this other stuff.
That's all right.
This young man is good. I saw his work.
Wow.
So I'm going to have him do something.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
The doors of the church is always open.
Yes, sir.
But I'm just saying there's talent. Black folks today believe in yourself.
Yes.
And know what direction you want to go in. Don't let nobody lead you in the direction where they want you to go.
Yeah. You know where you want to go and you be the force that's leading you. Yeah. All right.
And since we have Mr. Keith here, I'm gonna throw this in before we get out of here. Kiara Shear has a new song out, and hopefully we can play it. It's called Rain, R-A-I-N.
And we need her to rain
powerful.
her presence
and
at the Courageous Detroit Network.
We're going to get on the show. We're going to have her on the show, and we're going to be right here. Trust and believe, because life and death is in the power of the tongue.
Yes.
And if we can get Mr. Keith Washington here.
Washington?
What's the name? Williams. I don't know why I'm thinking about
He
Washington.
keep thinking of the singer. He's been calling Mr. Williams Washington since day one.
Oh yeah,
the singer Keith
Williams.
Washington is the
Keith
singer.
Williams. I'm thinking about the good hair, dark skin Keith Washington made Missing You, Kissing You.
Right.
Loving You All Through the Night.
Yes.
Shit. He was on also an episode of Martin. But anyway, Keith Williams. If we can get him, we can get anybody. So
I think you secretly want Keith Washington on the show.
Well,
Do you want him to come sing for you?
I don't even know if he exists. If he's, I haven't heard. I just but he was a great singer.
Yeah.
Great singer. But anyway, Keith Williams, not Washington. He's still around.
Okay. Thank you, because I didn't want to.
I think he does.
Yeah, I don't know about that.
I think I've seen him in plays.
You was on your own on that one.
No,
bro.
when you said it, baby, when you said Williams, I was like, Washington. That is this. So Williams.
Is there any way I can play this song?
Yes.
Here's a song I want y'all to listen to.
You can't.
Can we boot it up for the next segment?
Hold on.
No.
But I'm gonna this.
What's the name of it?
Hold on.
Oh yeah, we can play it.
No, we can't. All right, Mr. Hutton. Well, where we at? Hey.
That's what he's saying.
Trying to find my love. I've got to find the love.
Well, Mr. Hutton.
Oh, she stole my heart away. When we were young.
That's a love song.
Right.
So young.
But when he was young.
I can't seem to forget. It's time.
That's how she got you 20 years later.
That's your ballot. That's your ballot.
That's his ballot. That's how he
ballot.
got Mrs. Garrett 20 years later.
That's your ballot.
Hey, 20 years later,
Do you play that in the house?
I'm gonna go to the house. When I go home today, I'm gonna play
You gonna
it.
play it?
But that's Bobby heading from Chicago 20 years later.
Wow.
And I found my love.
Wow.
20 years.
He's 20 years later.
Well, I hope it don't take me 20.
Oh Lord.
But he's probably at your doorstep and you don't even know it.
Yeah.
I keep hearing that.
And then she probably didn't put him out,
Yeah, probably put him out.
thinking he was you know how they say no paper bills.
Yeah. But it's just a blessing.
Look at it. Look at it.
I'm thinking like, who could? No, just
But I want to thank you guys
Yes.
for allowing me
Absolutely.
Thank
spend a little time
you.
with you today.
Yes.
And hopefully I didn't get off kilter off y'all show.
you did excellent. We
No,
thank
this
God
was a
for you.
blessing. Ram in the bush today.
Real quick before we go, your hat is it's a sheriff's hat.
Yes.
Okay, so you retired from being a sheriff as well?
I'm still involved.
Still involved?
All right.
I work for the man, Sheriff Raphael Washington.
Oh wow.
And this is the ironic story about that.
Uh-huh.
He was my brother's ring bearer in 1967.
Wow. That is interesting. Wow.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I'm over Sheriff Community Outreach Team. I go into the precincts and I work with the precincts.
Wow.
But that's just another part
Yeah.
of my journey of life.
Yeah. Okay. Awesome.
Wow.
Well, I had to ask you about the hat before we left.
Well,
Because I was about to ask you, can I have one? But I can't have one.
You tried.
Right.
No, because
I thought it was a part of Courageous. I thought that was a
No.
No, that's special. Like
with
you.
that, you gotta have this.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, you can't have that.
You gotta have this.
It matched you though.
Yes, sir.
You're matching it today.
Yes, sir.
This is a special deputy bag.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Well, we got it all. We're covered. He has blessed us in the door.
Right.
And he gives us all types of. The Lord is he gives us private security.
Right. We've benefited all the way around.
All the way around. So again, we thank God.
Yes.
This is Courageous Detroit Network, and we have had a great day.
Yes.
We thought the Lees again. Let's pray for their dad. Yeah, let's talk about our events.
What we got coming up, Miss Darcy?
We're gonna do it on the other end.
It's on your phone.
Okay.
Oh, she sent it to you.
Okay. Okay, slow. Okay. Yeah. So we want to thank God, and let's remember Pastor Lee.
Yes.
His sons were supposed to be here, Stephen and Quan, and they had an emergency. So let's pray for them. But God always fills in. We thank God for Mr. Williams again.
Yes.
And also we have some upcoming events, and we're going to share them with you.
Yes.
We have the Summer Soul
No,
Festival.
you got to say it like this. Summer
Soul Day
Festival.
That is July the 26th at 11 a.m. to 9 p.m.
That's all day.
All live music, vendors, food trucks, and much more.
Yes.
It's going to be held at the Oakland County.
That's Northwestern High School.
Northwestern High School, amen. That's 1460 Perry Street in Pontiac, Michigan.
That's Oakland County Soul Fest.
Okay.
One is Soul Day.
These are two different.
Soul Day is July 22nd, Northwestern High School. It's my fifth annual Soul Day. We may have 4,000 to 5,000 people out there, music, vendors, and the whole shot.
Okay.
And then on August 23rd, we go to Soul Fest.
Oakland County Soul
Okay.
Fest.
Yes. And then in the wintertime, guess what I'm getting ready to do? I'm putting a skating ring out in the back so we can ice skate.
Oh, let's do this. I can skate. I'm a skater. I can skate.
Yes, so.
Dre, we getting you out on some skates.
Now, what kind of skates?
Ice skate.
No, I don't have a desire. I will not be ever. No, I'm too old for that.
Yes.
If it was 20 or 30, yeah, but not at 50. I'm not getting on
Then
nobody.
July 12th and 13th.
You can do it. You scared?
I can. Yes.
You don't want to break nothing.
Yes.
You don't want to shatter nothing.
Yeah, because if I break it now, Lord have mercy. They say God has not given us a spirit of fear, but He's given us a spirit of wisdom.
Knee pads, elbow pads.
No, I'm gonna watch you.
Pads.
I'm gonna watch you. This is the very first to talk about ice skating. I will not be. No, I'm not breaking nothing.
So, me and Wendy was talking, and we're going. We started What's Up in the D.
Yes.
So we're gonna go to our first location on Dexter at this Harmony place where donuts and all this other stuff. And I want to do this thing called Couch and Conversation.
Couch and Conversation. Couch and Conversation.
So how I came up with this is that every hood got brothers with a couch and a lot.
They do.
On the vacant lot.
Yeah, you'll find a couch. You'll find quite a few of them in Detroit.
But I'm going to tell you something. Them some brilliant brothers.
Yeah.
Nobody's talking to them.
Yeah. So you want to pick that. Yeah. That'd be good.
And I sometimes might bring y'all with me.
Yeah, and you know what? I'm sure our minds will be blown at the information that we'll find out. Yes. The intelligence that's out there.
Yes.
Yeah.
We looking at them as an obstacle, but that may be God's grace.
Right. Yes. I'm all right. I look forward to it.
What's up in the D?
What's up?
Channel 4 guy is what the Channel 4 is. Live from the D.
Live from the D.
We're going to have What's Up in the D.
What up, dope from the D?
Stay tuned, y'all. What's Up in the D? It's coming. It's coming.
Yes.
So, good show today.
Absolutely.
Thank y'all.
Thank
You're
you.
welcome. Thank you.
All right.
Let y'all go and close out.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, bro.
Okay.
All right.
Wendy, I'm gone.
And sorry you can't. It been went off a long time ago. Oh, jeez.
So again, we're back at Courageous Detroit Network. We just had a great interview with Keith Williams. And we just thank God for his availability and him giving us a great interview.
Yes.
Also, let's remember our Summer Soul Festival is Soul Day, July the 26th, 11 to 9 at Northwestern High School. And definitely, we just want to thank God. Toy, before we leave, anything you want to say to our listeners?
I just want to say thanks for hanging out with us today. Thanks for checking us out. And we look forward to, more shows and more entertainment. We got to get Kiki shared on here.
Yes.
I don't know. What's her new last name, though?
Kelly.
Okay. Yep. So, Mrs. Kelly, we need you, girl.
Yeah.
And just exciting about, lots of other things. You guys have any questions? Send us your questions. We love to answer your questions. Anything that you're looking for, upcoming artists.
Yeah.
That we can have you sit in the vacant seat here next to me.
If you're an upcoming artist, rap, gospel, whatever it is.
All of that.
We definitely want you
Movie
on.
ventures,
Yes.
like whatever,
Yes.
it is. Hit us up. Absolutely. But thanks for hanging out with us, checking out with us today.
Yeah.
And I'm excited. What you got up for the rest of the day?
Rest of the day, I'm about to I got to go work tomorrow. I got to go to work on a holiday early in the morning. So I'm
make that double money.
So I thank God for that. And then just a great week. I'm believing God for a great week.
Yes.
Open doors.
Yeah.
I want him to open up a window and pour.
I want him. I don't want a window. I need windows. Indoors.
Yeah.
Opened. And formed.
So this year,
he can create
this
doors.
week is going to be great.
Yes. I say, and we're just ending May, just about. We're almost in June.
We're almost
already.
in the 6th month. We are almost in the 6th month.
My goodness,
already.
we just started.
Yeah, I just made a
And
resolution.
we
Seemed like I
halfway.
just made a resolution last night.
I know, right?
Lord have mercy.
My goodness.
But we thank God. He has
him.
navigated us into almost the whole entire month of May. And we thank him for that. And again, keep listening. Keep making us the #1 online gospel radio show.
Yes.
And make sure you pray.
Thanks for checking us out.
Pray. That we continue to excel
Yes.
because our intentions is to give God all the glory because we are courageous.
Yes.
So have a great weekend. We love you. And if you're
same place.
Same place, same time.
Next time.
Yes.
We'll be here 4 to 6. Check us out.
Yeah.
Same time, same place.
So God bless you.
All right. God
Lord's
bless.
will. We see you next week.
All right. Courageous Detroit Network. Dre